Hello and welcome back to Joellen's Kitchen. Today we're going to do some peach bread pudding. I haven't made bread pudding yet and I thought that would be a good thing to try. And I know that I've seen, I guess it was Martin's potato bread. I didn't see that at the store, but I did find some potato bread. I know they have a good recipe. So here goes. We're going to start off with half a cup of white sugar, and of course you know by now I usually mix brown and white. Well, the brown's going to come later in a sauce that you pour over the top, and also sweet and sour is not in this. This is not a sour kind of dish, it's a sweet dish, period. So white and brown sugar. We also need 3 eggs. So, and that makes 3. I want to stir this together a little bit, get the eggs and the sugar mix so I have a base for my juice. A teaspoon and a half of vanilla, so I'm gonna just use the cap as my measuring device. There we go. Just a quarter of a teaspoon of salt. There we go. We want half a cup of heavy whipping cream. There we go. And then 2 cups of whole milk. And again, I'm using Pennsylvania milk, PA preferred, and this is Swiss dairy. There we go. So we want to continue to whisk this and mix it really good so we get that heavy whipping cream in there with the regular milk and the sugar and the eggs and the vanilla. Almost looks like a custard. Then we're going to work on preparing our main dish. Now, if you have an 8" by 8" square pan, that's ideal. I don't have that, so I'm just using a deep dish pie pan. That'll work. And again, so things don't stick, I'm going to spray it with Pam. Get a little bit in the bottom. And what I did find was potato rolls as opposed to potato bread, so I'm going to just open these up and pretend that they are pieces of bread. And each one I'm going to equate to a piece of bread. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And if you notice, hopefully you can see this, we're like layering it and lifting it up so that there's something sticking out, because that just makes a good place to put some more sugar on top. Is pour most of this on, but not all of it. We want it to swell up some, and we want to keep some for later to put on. So we're just going to let that lay there. And we're going to peel our peaches. They were a little expensive today. They'll come down. Well, maybe they won't with the pandemic and all that's going on with transportation. But I wanted to make peach bread pudding, so I had to pay the price. So we want to just peel them the best we can, keep those thin shells off so we don't lose all the meat of the peach. So we're going to be slicing these anyhow, so I'm just going to slice it on the stone, and then that might make it easier to pull off. And then what we're going to do is wedge these peaches in between where the bread is sticking and kind of make them into a little bit of a design. That one's pretty thick. I think I'll cut it in half again. And kind of let them stick up too. Yes, I drop things from time to time. The peaches are getting layered in there. I don't know. Let's see how this goes here. Oh, and peach did an awful lot. We're going to go around the edges, I guess. I think we're going to need one more. We're going to use 3 peaches today. Okay, I think I have enough peaches in there. You can see how nicely they're arranged. Well, one fell over, but we also have some more juice to put on there. Let it soak in. And that makes it pretty full. Like I said, it's a sweetness, and we're still working with the white sugar. I don't know, we might only use 2. Looks like a lot of sugar. Okay, so we sprinkled 2 tablespoons of sugar across the top. We're going to put this into bake on 350 for 45 minutes. And while that's happening, we're going to work on the brown sauce that you're going to keep separate until you eat it. Then you heat it up in the microwave and pour that over the top. So let's get this baking. 350, 45 minutes. Another thing you want to do, because now it's going down because it's soaking into the bread, but still this is going to bake, and milk, custard, that sort of thing tends to cook over. You don't want a messy oven to clean up, so put a big cookie sheet under it for a drip pan, and that way as some cooks out over, you don't have such a hard time cleaning up. I have a cookie sheet with edges on. I'm just going to stick that underneath it. this is my old gas cook stove. If you haven't seen it before, a lot of people have. But if you haven't, first time, yes, it's old. It's a Windcraft. It's the only stove or an oven I have. I do admit I have a microwave to use, but we're going to let this cook. I have a quarter stick of butter. It has salt in the butter too. I'm going to stick that in the microwave for maybe 30 seconds. To 1/2 of a cup of brown sugar. We're going to add a quarter stick of salted butter. That's melted. And then we're going to get our heavy cream again. And we're going to measure out a quarter cup. And add that. And I have enough, just a smidgen of salt. And we're going to mix that all together. Till our baking is done, then we'll heat it up in the microwave and put it on top.